What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday for those who celebrate Thursday. We are live here with a live stream. Do me a huge favor and hit a one in the chat to make sure you hear me okay. As you can see, I'm not in the regular studio. I'm in the hotel room here in Louisville for the Louisville Home Show. So if you could somebody hit me a one in the chat, that'd be a huge help. Just to know that you can hear me okay. Artsy lady, thank you so much. Happy to hear you get your snacks ready. We're going to have a good time here tonight. If you haven't yet done so, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are doing a huge push in 2026 to continue to grow the channel as much as possible and get to 100,000 subscribers as fast as possible. So if you haven't yet done so, I cordially invite you to come on over to the YouTube channel and join the fun. We just started a new style of video. We have a new videographer. I mentioned this in a previous live. His name's Chris. He's full time, and we're thrilled to have him. Let me know in the chat if you like how our new full length videos are going in our shorts. I'm not doing the editing anymore, thank God. And we have him on board, and I think it's catching on pretty well so far. We did 2 videos with him, and probably about a half dozen shorts or so. But I'd be interested to hear from the community what everybody thinks of the new style video. If you haven't yet done so, please go ahead and give us a huge thumbs up. We took 2 weeks off during the Christmas holidays. I had family in town, and last week we didn't get a lot of action on live stream simply because the YouTubes and their algorithms, they need us to get a lot of thumbs up and a lot of interaction for them to immediately start recommending the live stream to other community members. So if you haven't done so, do us a huge favor and smash that like button. Now, guys, what we're going to do here is a little bit different than some of the previous live streams, okay? I have 6 questions that have been emailed to me last week from viewers, and I'm just going to go ahead and fire through them and use those as talking points for the basis of the live stream. If you have any specific questions that you have that I'm not going to be able to answer with these questions, go ahead and type them in the comments on the sidebar there, and I will answer them after we go through the questions. But we had 6 questions emailed in to me this week, and as always, I'll go ahead and put my email here in the chat. Feel free to email me anytime during the week with your questions, and I'll do the best I can to answer them as thoroughly as I possibly can here during the live stream. I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but if you ever try to work at a hotel, I'm at a Marriott here in Louisville, and do they not have always the worst chairs? Is it just me? I mean, I'm a bigger guy, so maybe it's just me, but man, I feel like I'm just kind of bobbing around here on this freaking this chair. So if I look like I'm on a dunk tank at the circus, I apologize. Okay, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the questions. Grab your snacks. Artsy lady has them. She's ready to rock. Her positivity is always fantastic in the comments. Okay, so the first question is going to be from Brandon. He's in Gainesville, Florida. Mark, thank you so much for what you're doing with the community and the channel. I'm a part of as many live streams as I can. Thanks, Brandon. What is the pro and con of buying a home in a land-owned park? Good question. Okay, so when we're talking about buying a manufactured home, okay, I'm at the 2026 Louisville Home Show. For those who are curious why you're jumping in now, because I start to see the numbers are kicking up here with attendees. And I'm in my hotel room shooting this stream. That's why you don't have the regular mobile home stuff in the background. So I apologize. I've got kind of this jerry-rigged lighting set up. Got a lot going on here, so I'm doing the best I can. So if that's different for you, then I apologize. Okay, so when you're talking about pros and cons of owning a home in a land-owned park, when you buy a manufactured home, okay, you can buy it one of 3 ways. Okay, you can buy it the most common way, and that's going to be out in private land. Okay, so if you have acreage out in the countryside or something like that, you buy a manufactured home, you put it on your land. Okay, I grew up in a small town in Indiana. I grew up with that stuff all around me. I did not grow up in a mobile home or a manufactured home, but I saw that all the time. That's by far the most common way. The other way you can buy a home is in a park where you pay lot rent, which is what the mobile home dealer specializes in, or you can buy a home in a park where you own a share of the community. Okay, so Brandon, you're talking about the pro and con of owning a home in a land-owned park. Okay, there's quite a few. I'll jump right through them. When you're buying a home with a share, okay, a lot of times there's a misunderstanding of, yes, you can buy a home in a park and you own the land. Okay, that's marketing. Okay, that's marketing mumbo jumbo. What you really wind up doing is you own the house and you own what's called a share of the community. Okay, so if anybody's ever lived in a condo or something like that, it's literally the exact same thing. You don't own the building, you own a share. Okay, so you don't own the ground that your home sits on, you own a share of the community. So you have a share in the voting rights for new rules and regulations and stuff. Okay, so when people buy a home and they have the land owned, they immediately think they can go and do whatever they want, right? They can put up like a doghouse or a barn or like a storage shed or a fence. You can't. Okay, this is a big misnomer of land owned versus land leased. Everybody on the channel, a lot of times in comments, will be like, "Oh, I would only own it if I could own the land." Well, sir or madam, that's fine, but make sure you're not looking at buying a home in any type of park, because when you buy a home in a park where you own the land, it's essentially an HOA. Okay, so you're going to have to still go to the HOA for any type of approval with the land. Okay, you don't own the land. You can't do whatever you want with it. All right. Most of the time in these parks, you still have an HOA fee every month. And that'll range from anywhere from $200 to $300 to like $500. Okay, it kind of depends what part of the country you're in, what amenities the park has, etc. Okay, but generally speaking, in Florida, you're usually going to see an HOA right around about $250 to $300. Okay, now that's going to be about $400 less than the state average for lot rent, but you're now paying property taxes, whereas when you lease the land, you don't. You're now paying different types of insurance because more than likely you have a mortgage on the deal. Because when you buy a home with land, you have two purchases. You have the purchase of the house and the purchase of the share. Okay. So you have a much larger buy-in. You have much more insurance, much more nickel and dimey stuff going on with it. Okay. There's a park that I'm friends with the owner. It's in a town called Lakeland, Florida. Okay. It's about 300 units and it's land owned. And he charges the residents for everything under the sun, including holiday lights, the putting up of holiday lights and the taking down of holiday lights. He charges his residents for if the pool needs to have like work done to it, like if there's a leak in the pool, he'll charge you for that. He charges you for different landscaping things and all that kind of stuff. So Brandon, if you want to buy a house, then and you want to buy it in a park, I am a huge proponent of buying a home in a park with lot rent. Okay, if you buy a home in a park where you own the land, that's your prerogative. I'm not knocking it. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But please understand that you're not owning the land, you're owning a share. You have to buy the actual share, which in Florida, it averages $64,000 on top of the price of the home. Okay, so you have the price of the home plus $64,000. You're still paying an HOA. You usually get nickel and dimed, like the guy that I know in Lakeland who charges people for Christmas lights, for God's sakes. You have to have higher insurance. You usually have to cut your own grass. You're for sure paying your own water, sewer, and trash. I just think that it's not a good deal. I've tried to do the math, and the math doesn't math, as people say, when you try to look at that. People get so focused all the time on, oh, I'm going to own the land. Well, you don't. Oh, well, I'm going to own the share and save so much money. Well, you don't, because you wind up paying $60,000, $70,000 on the front end to essentially save about $200 a month when it's all said and done. So the math to me never makes any sense. If you want to do it, Brandon, go for it. I wish you only the best. And I'm happy to help in any way I can. And so is the mobile home dealer team. But dollar for dollar, buying a house in a park with lot rent is by far the better option if we're talking purely numbers and trying to get the most bang for your buck. And that has nothing to do with selling homes to you through the mobile home dealer, Brandon. That's just math. Okay, that's just math. So I hope that clears up that concern. Dennis from LaPorte, Indiana, my home state. It says, Mark, thanks so much for everything you're doing with the YouTube channel. You bet, Dennis. Can you move a home from a park if you don't agree with the lot rent increase? Yeah. I like your idea, Dennis. I like that. The direct answer is it depends. And I know that's a crummy answer, Dennis. I'm sorry, but let me please explain. Generally speaking, a home cannot be moved if it's older than 20 years of age. All right, 2026, it's got to be an 06 or newer for it to legally get permitted to be able to be moved. Now, I know that sounds crazy. I own the home. I should be able to move it around. I get it. But it starts to become like a highway safety issue, okay? So in that sense, Dennis, if the home is newer than 20 years old, you probably can move it. But here's the deal, Dennis. When you live in a community, whether you own a share, like we talked about Brandon's question, or you pay lot rent, okay? You still have a land lease that you have to sign. That's a document, Dennis, between you and the park. And it's essentially going to say that you're going to pay the lot rent, you're going to pay the HOA. Okay, that's basically what it means. Okay, now in that document, it's about this many pages. In that document, Dennis, it's going to say not only are you responsible for paying for the lot rent, but it's also going to talk about if you decide to move the home, then a lot of times what they do is they require you to replace it with another home. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but it's the mobile home park business. The mobile home park business is one where the mobile home park owners make money off lot rent. They don't make money really off of selling homes. They sure as heck don't make money off of upcharging residents for the landscaping. They don't make any money there. Where they make their money is they make their money on the lot rent. Okay, that's how they run their business. So if you're taking a income producing lot and you're taking your home and you're moving it somewhere else, that's your prerogative. It's your right. Okay, it is your home if it's 20 years old or newer, but you are taking money out of the mobile home park's pocket. Now, I'm not trying to wave the flag for the mobile home park, Dennis. I'm not trying to say that. It's just they're going to say, hey, now we don't have that revenue coming in. You have to replace it with some revenue, usually like another house. So it stinks, but you really want to make sure you check with the park before you start moving a house around. That can be an absolute disaster. If they don't require you to replace it with another house, which some parks don't, you're for darn sure that they're going to make you grate the ground. Okay, they're going to make you knock out the concrete for the driveway or for the carport or whatever. And they're going to make sure that you grade it so it's even, probably sod it. I mean, they're probably going to make sure that the lot is just as nice, if not nicer, than when you came in and then when you leave. So it's not as simple as saying, the lot rent's going to go up 5% next year, so I'm going to hire a manufactured home transporting company and I'm just going to yank the house out and go to a different park. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. They may say it is, but when push comes to shove, I've seen a lot of homeowners get into a disaster, whether they're looking to move their home or their travel trailer or their fifth wheel that's like on a permanent foundation. So please understand that, Dennis, with that. Mary from Seattle, Washington. Hey, I like the new videos. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate you. Do you see many people downsizing from single family homes to the mobile home lifestyle? Yeah, we do. We definitely do. I personally believe that, Mary, the manufactured home space, and I'm saying it now, or I've been saying this to the mobile home dealer team for at least a year. The sales agents and the office folks, I think we're at the very beginning of the manufactured home space totally changing. I think in 2 or 3 years, the manufactured home space as a whole is going to be totally different, Mary. And I think it's starting to gain speed. And that's why going to these conferences, I spoke today at the Louisville show and seeing the massive attraction to manufactured homes right now. I think the manufactured home space is going to be totally different in 2 or 3 years. And going to shows like the Louisville, Kentucky show, and I'll be speaking at the Biloxi, Mississippi show here in March. That just makes me believe it even more, because the momentum that the manufactured home space is something that, unless you see it firsthand, it's absolutely crazy. more and more people are getting into manufactured homes. I saw a statistic today from another speaker that said that the average, not the top, not the bottom, just the average. Okay. The average household income for two people in America right now is $81,000. Okay. But the average stick and brick house, it's like single family house, is $416,000. And rough numbers, to have enough money to apply for a mortgage to get approved for a $416,000 house, you need to be around $110,000 gross income for the house. Okay. So the average person literally cannot buy a stick and brick home right now. And when I heard that, immediately I was like, oh my gosh, that's another perfect reason why so many people are flocking to the manufactured home space. Because I walked through some gorgeous, and I shot videos, and they'll be up on the channel here in the next several weeks, some gorgeous manufactured homes today. Like, I don't know if everybody's familiar with Champion Homes. Okay. They had this modular home today. It was a triple wide. It's about 2,300 square feet. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath. Beautiful. I mean, it is stunning. It is stunning. Now I know it's not cheap. It is not cheap. Okay. But their base model is like 150,000. The one they had here was like 220. Okay. I'm not saying that's cheap, but I am sitting there and saying to have a $220,000 holy smokes house. And then if you have land to put it on, or, in the country or whatever, you're going to be $150,000 cheaper than a basic stick and brick house. And you're going to have a holy smokes house. I was with my good friends at Legacy Homes yesterday, filming homes and doing interviews with them. And they had this single wide. It was a 16 by 62 single wide. I shot a video. It'll be on the channel probably sometime in February. And it was like awesome. Like, it was so cool. Here's the crazy thing. The retail price is $86,000. I'm not saying $86,000 is chump change. I'm not saying that. Okay. But I am sitting there and saying 86,000 plus, if you put it on your own private land or you put it in a park, you could probably find some parks to put that in. That's a holy smokes house. I just don't see that the stick and brick world is going to keep up with how much momentum the manufactured home space is coming, because they're coming out with like such awesome brand new houses. And they're a fraction of what a plain Jane stick and brick house is. So, Mary, do I see people downsizing from single family homes to mobile homes? Yeah, we see it all the time in Florida. Florida is more of what I would call like a destination location than, say, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. I'm not giving Louisville any grief. Like I said, I'm from Indiana, but Florida, you're going to have a lot of 55 and older parks. You're going to have a lot less family parks. Whereas in the Midwest, where I'm from, you're going to have a lot more all ages and family parks. I see at the mobile home dealer, a lot of people selling their home from like the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and then downsizing to a smaller home, like a double wide, like a 2-bed, 2-bath, 24 by 50 foot. What's that? 1,000 square feet, 1,100 square feet. And they're doing that all the time. So yeah, I'm seeing people are downsizing because it's that time of life where they don't want the big house. Maybe they're empty nesters. Maybe it's a financial deal. Who knows? But yeah, they're definitely doing that. So Damon from Lansing, Michigan. All right, Damon, another Midwestern person. I went to school in Lansing, Michigan. This is a good one. Why don't you talk about insurance costs in your homes and your home tours? This has been a thing for the last couple of days, last week or so, I guess, is a lot of people are asking the mobile home dealer, why are you not talking about insurance for homes in videos? Okay. So let me answer that, but I'll actually give you some more information. A lot of people are under the belief that you cannot get insurance for these properties. That is 100% false. Okay. A lot of these homes you can get insurance on. It's just owners of the homes do not decide to get insurance. Okay. Now, I'm not saying living the life with no insurance is a smart thing or it's a dumb thing. I'm not one to judge. Okay. But a lot of people in this business don't have insurance at all on their house. The people who do, and this is pre-owned homes, not brand new homes. The people who do have insurance usually have like a slip and fall policy, like a liability insurance. right? It's like the Amazon guy slips and breaks his arm, or the pizza lady, God forbid, sprains their ankle and they sue you. Then they have some type of coverage for that type of a policy. A lot of people don't have, especially if they're older homes, a lot of people don't have any type of like hurricane insurance or storm insurance or flood insurance or stuff like that. Am I saying that's smart? No. Am I saying it's dumb? No. It's just the person a lot of times just doesn't have it. So you definitely can get insurance on this home. Damon, another thing is if you get a loan, which we talked about, I believe last week or the week before on our lives, if you get a loan on the home, okay, through a manufactured home lender, okay, like 21st Mortgage or Triad or Vanderbilt's another big one. We don't have an affiliation with any one of them. In that situation, they're going to require you to have insurance. Okay, so yes, you can get insurance. Now, to be more direct to your question, Damon, why don't we, which essentially is me, because I'm the one who does a lot of the voiceovers for the long form videos in the Mobile Home Dealer channel. Why don't I ever talk about insurance? I don't talk about insurance for one main reason. I don't talk about insurance, not because I don't know about insurance, not because I don't know I can probably give you a pretty good quote on it on all these homes. I don't talk about insurance on the videos because I'm not a licensed insurance broker. I'm a licensed mobile home broker. Okay, so Damon, I never put myself in a position where I'm speaking outside of what my license can cover. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing as, if you ask an attorney, hey, I got a speeding ticket, am I going to be guilty? The attorney is not going to sit there and say yes or no. They might sit there and be like, well, I don't know. You probably, because they don't want to put themselves in a position where, that they could say something and then them not be licensed to give you advice. So Damon, I never talk about things that I'm not licensed on. As a licensed mobile home broker, I talk about homes all day long. I talk about it on the channel. I talk about homes on these live streams. These live streams are filmed, but we don't talk about things that we're not licensed for. So I hope that answers your concern and kind of gives you a better understanding about why we don't talk about insurance prices on videos. But yes, you definitely can get insurance. Okay, Danny from Miami, Florida. What's up, Danny in Miami, Florida? Thanks so much for all you're doing with the videos. Love the new approach that you do have with all the long form. Thanks, Danny. Quick question. When you're looking at buying a home, should you buy a home directly from the seller, or should you always work with a broker? Thanks again. Well, Danny, when you're buying a home for sale by owner or working with a broker. Now, Danny, I'm going to answer this question and not plug the mobile home dealer, okay? Because obviously everybody knows that I work with a mobile home dealer, okay? And we sell homes. So I'm not going to plug it in any way. I'm just going to kind of give you information as if I were to give it to my own family member or trusted friend. Danny, when you're buying something for sale by owner, okay, you're essentially taking the person's word that everything is good to go. All right. You're assuming that the title on the home does not have what's called clouded title. It doesn't have a mechanic's lien. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo to basically say you're taking the word 100% of the seller. Okay. If there's a mechanic's lien or clouded title on the title, Danny, and you go and you buy the home and you go to try to transfer it in your name, the DMV can sit there and say they're not going to transfer it because there's a mechanic's lien because they got a new roof on the house and they didn't pay the roofer. And so the roofer went down to the DMV and got a mechanic's lien. And all of a sudden you're, without a paddle. Okay. When you work with a broker, then whether you work with a mobile home dealer or somebody else, when you work with a broker, they should. Okay, I can't comment for all other brokers. I'll just comment for the mobile home dealer. What we do is we make sure that we do a full lien and title check to make sure that the title is good to go so it can be transferred to the new owner. Okay, if there's any issues during that process and there's a mechanic's lien or a clouded title or something like that, we immediately stop the transaction and make sure that the seller gets it cleared up because we're not going to pass bad title onto a unsuspecting buyer. Okay, number one, that's bad business. Number two, I just think it's shady, and we don't do that. So we stop everything to make sure that you're good to go before we move forward with it. Okay. The other thing is, if you are going to buy it for sale by owner, I would strongly suggest, Danny, spend the $500 or $600 and get an inspection. Definitely get an inspection. There's no shortage of manufactured home inspectors in Miami, I'm sure, in Miami-Dade, all that area, that'll be able to help you out with a home inspection. Because if you buy it for sale by owner, number one, you can get screwed around on the title. Number two, you can get screwed around big time on things that are wrong with the house that they just said are good to go. Now, Danny, I'm not trying to make you lose trust in humanity. Okay. I wish we could take everybody's word for it, but there's just a lot of people that are going to say, no, there's no leaky roof. There's no problems with the vapor barrier. And if you just take people's word for it, I would hope that people are honest and people have integrity. But Danny, unfortunately, we all know not everybody's that way. So if you're going to buy it for sale by owner, please, please, please make sure that you get an inspection by a licensed manufactured home inspector, and go real slow on that title paperwork, Danny, because I would hate for you to buy a home and get excited about it, and then all of a sudden, boom, you can't get title because the title is clouded. So I hope that helps answer your question, Danny. Last one, and then we'll jump into the live questions here. Marie from Poconos, Pennsylvania. That's a beautiful area. Mount Poconos, beautiful area. Hey, Mark, just new to the channel. Watched last week's live stream and really enjoyed it. Quick question. I'm trying to sell my parents' mobile home. They just passed away. Sorry to hear that, Marie. And I don't know of any brokers in the area. How should I sell it myself? Good question. Well, number one, Marie, I'm very sorry that your parents were lost. That's absolutely horrible. I hope you're doing okay. If you have a home that you're looking to sell, it's going to come up, and I don't have any more information, whether it's in a park with lot rent, if it's on private land. I don't know that, Marie. You didn't tell me that, so I'll kind of answer it as best as I can. If you're looking to sell a home by yourself and it's on land, you can always do it for sale by owner. You can do the Zillow thing and put it up for sale with Zillow and all that kind of stuff. I'll just give you a generic canned answer, Marie, because I don't have any more information to go off that. I would strongly suggest if it has land to it, my generic answer is to call a realtor. Call a realtor, walk them through, let them know what's going on, and have them sell it for you. You could probably sell it on your own and save a few percentage points, Marie, but everybody grieves their own way. So if you're really down in the dumps, which I'm sure you are, that your parents passed, if you hand it off, you'll pay some money for the commission, but it'll be one less thing that you're going to have to screw around with to get the estate settled. If it's in a park and you're paying lot rent for it, I would strongly suggest finding a local broker. I know Mount Poconos is a small town. You're right outside of New York City. I'm sure there's probably a licensed broker similar to the mobile home dealer. Give them a call, make sure that they're licensed in the state, and have them sell it for you. I just see a lot of times people are trying to sell homes, whether it's you, Marie, or other people in Florida, and they're trying to sell it for a deceased family member, and they're wrestling with a transaction, a business transaction. They have no idea where to start while they're also grieving. And they start getting very, and I'm like that too. They start getting personal. Like, well, this is my dad's house. I don't want to give it away. They price it super high. It doesn't get sold. They hold on to the memories. They don't realize that, yes, there are memories, and yes, those are important. But at the same time, this is a business transaction. Marie, I see this happening all the time in Florida. And I'm not minimizing anybody's loss. I certainly am not. I've lost many loved ones myself, and it's terrible. But if you're grieving and you have somebody who can come in and help you and be honest up front and charge you a fair fee to do that, I would always suggest hiring a professional, and you focus 100% on taking care of you, your grieving process, your mental health, and just have the professional kind of handle that. So I'm sorry, Marie, that I can't give you a specific answer, but I really hope from the bottom of my heart that you're doing okay. So guys, that wraps up the questions that I had emailed to me. I will take a sip of water and go through the chat, and let's talk mobile homes. If you have a question, go ahead and type it in the live chat, and we'll get rocking and rolling. Get my lucky piece of gum here. And look at going. It's snowing right now. I got my ring light in front of me, but the window's open for the hotel. I'm in downtown Louisville, right outside from across the street from the University of Louisville, the college campus. And it's whirling around in snow. Dear God, get me back to Florida. Oh God, it's freezing. Hey Scott, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks. Happy you like your video. It's looks like it's working out well for your sale there. Hey, what's up, Dale? JSL from freezing cold Michigan. Brother, I hear you. Louisville is freezing cold today too. Ready to get back to the sunshine. I went to school in Michigan. I went to Thomas Cooley in Lansing, and I was there for 3 years, and it was always freezing. Hey, what's up, Josh? Good to hear from you. Nine degrees, Terry. 9 degrees in Iowa. Holy smokes. Hope you got your long johns on. That just sounds brutal. I think Kentucky today, when I went to the gym this morning, it was the rental car read 16. And yeah, that was pretty chilly. Yeah, I hear you. I want to be able to say your screen name on right. Juan Yankee says, yeah, land ownership. You hear people say, yeah, it's my land and I'll do whatever I want. You're right. You're right. The key is, guys, if you're buying the land, you have to understand what you're buying. Okay, you're buying a share, which is, you know, the voting share. Okay, and you're buying the house. Okay, so you have two transactions. Usually can blend that into a traditional mortgage if you need to, which is a good thing, you know, because you'll have more financing available. Excuse me, but again, you really got to understand what you're buying. If we're talking purely math, okay, it just never makes sense financially. I've never once in my entire career in the mobile home dealer, I've never once seen where owning the land in a co-op or in a land-owned park works out financially. Like I've seen people lose an insane amount of money because they had to own the land. I've never seen it work out financially ever. I'm a Canadian paraplegic in a wheelchair. Do accessible units pop up often? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they definitely do. We sold a home in November that was 100% accessible. So yeah, the more accessible units are going to have the easy way to tell it. And this is probably a silly comment, but the easy way you can tell it on our inventory is if they have a ramp in the carport. If they usually have a ramp in the carport, that's usually a clear indicator that the whole house is going to be accessible. A lot of people will buy an accessible home who don't need those renovations, and they'll take out the ramp and they'll take off the extra bars in the hallway. And that's fine. People do that all the time. They patch the drywall and go down the road. But yes, we deal with accessible homes all the time. Hey guys, if you haven't yet done so, please do us a huge favor and hit that thumbs up. We need all the thumbs up that we can get to remind the YouTube algorithm that we are back on our live stream schedule after taking a little bit of time off for the holiday. Hey Quirky, good to see you in the chat. Hey, Genuine Joy, no problem. We're happy you're here. We jumped on at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. Eastern time, every Thursday, unless it's Christmas. Then we did not do a live stream. Do they do title search like that and real estate? Yeah, it's called title insurance. It's basically the same thing that we do. I can't comment on any other mobile home broker. I can only comment on us, the mobile home dealer. We try to be as legal beagle, is the term that we use in our office with everything. And so we do a full title search. I know other brokerages say they do them, and they actually don't. I think that stinks, but we do it because I'm the one who does it. So we definitely do it. Yeah, you're right, Quirky. We can do. There are the reruns of the live stream. I film it, I record it, and then about it varies with YouTube. Anywhere between like 2 or 3 hours to like 6 hours is the live stream comes up. If you just go to our YouTube page, the homepage, and you scroll down to live stream, it's about 3/4 of the way down the page. You'll see every single live stream. And then what I do is I keep those up because what we do, or what we're getting ready to do, is we're going to run shorts off that and then use that for marketing to continue to grow our community. But we also leave it up there just because people, I think, see a lot of benefit in these live streams. And they're up there for everybody to enjoy. Hey, Kevin, thanks for the well wishes. I don't know if you're in Kentucky as well, but thank you. Yeah, Louisville has been very good to me the last 2 days. I get on late Tuesday night, and then I'm flying out tomorrow morning. But it's been a cold time, but a fun time. Thinking about moving to Florida, Kevin. Yeah, cool. Down in Hudson, in a 55 and older park. Hudson's a cool town, smaller town, but you can get a lot of bang for your buck down there. Let us know when you're ready to move down to Florida and the sunshine. Give us a holler, Kevin. We'll be happy to help in any way we can. Whether we work together on buying a house or you just want to jump on and talk shop, our team is always happy to help in any way we can. Hey, Darren. Mark, I'm in Kokomo. Are you talking about Kokomo, Indiana? That would be fantastic. Man, we keep talking about the Midwest here tonight. Must be the snow in the air. And I own my park. I've been looking into Florida. Can I sell my home and move into another park if it's under the same company without an issue? So Darren, let's see. What I mean is, oh, okay. You clarified on the next chat. What I mean is, would the company buy the home and I take their credit for the home to put it into another home within the same company? So Darren, I don't totally understand what you're asking. If you're saying that you live in a park and there's a park in Florida where the same ownership, like it's a Sun community or it's an ELS community or something like that, can you do that? I don't know if you can do that, but I know if you live in a community like a Sun community or an ESL or ELS, ELS park, then if you move from one ELS park, which they're the ELS, for anybody who doesn't know, that's an acronym for Equity Lifestyle. That's the largest independent mobile home park owner in the country. They own Colony Cove in Ellington. They own, I don't know, several thousand parks at this point. If you live in an ELS park and you sell your home and you move to another ELS park, whether it's in the same state or different states, I do know, last time I checked anyway, that you don't have to go through a park approval. You'll just say, hi, my name's Mark. I was living in Colony Cove and now I'm going to move to Hudson Bay in Madison, Wisconsin. Then they'll literally just run your name, make sure you're in good standing, and they won't make you go through the park approval. I also know that in a lot of those big parks like ELS, if the park buys your home and you want to move to another state, then yeah, they can kind of like advance the credit. So let's say they buy your home for like, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000, and you want to go to a different state and still an ELS park, then they will take that $5,000 or $10,000. They'll apply it to one of their park-owned homes, and you'll be able to skip the line when it comes to park approval. So I hope that answers your question, Darren. I do know that a lot of the big companies do that. SM71. Did you see on YouTube yesterday the news story out of Black County, Tennessee? Mobile home park was sold and the new owner raised rent immediately to a much higher rate. So no, I didn't see that. I'm not aware of that exact case. But here's what I can tell you. Okay. When you're looking at buying a home in a park, okay, and there's lot rent associated with it, okay. I've talked about this in previous lives. We're doing, the mobile home dealer is starting an educational component, and we're going to be talking about that. And starting in February is when we're hoping to finally get this educational project off. And we're going to be talking about that in the educational series. Here is the big deal, and here's really what you want to focus on when you're looking at buying a home in a park with lot rent, okay? And you have your budget, because we've all talked about how you can get denied for park approval based on money. Okay, so I won't go into that here today, but you want to make sure you do your due diligence on a handful of parks in the area. Okay, a lot of times people think they hit a gold mine if they say, and I'm just going to make this up. Let's say they want to live in Bradenton, Florida. Okay, and let's say their budget is $600 a month. Okay, and let's say they call around to 10 different parks, and everything's pretty much between like $600 and $700, but they find one that's like $400. Holy smokes! They think they hit a gold mine. That is a recipe for disaster. Why is it a recipe for disaster? It's a recipe for disaster because that park owner more than likely is the original park owner, or is like the grandkids of the grandpa who started the park. Okay. Those parks are ripe to be purchased by a bigger mobile home park investor. Mobile home park investors buy parks all over the country that have lot rents that are not up to market rate. What they will then do is they will buy the park, and within about 90 days of buying the park, they will then say, hey, homeowners, instead of it being $400, in 90 days, it's going to be $600. Okay. And everybody immediately points the finger at the mobile home park person, and they say, oh, this greedy, son of a gun. I can't believe he would do it. Oh, it's the corporate greed, and it's, all this kind of stuff. And like, I get it. Like it's an emotional response. But if the folks had education, like the mobile home dealers educational series that's coming out, they would realize that the mobile home park buyer, the new person who jacked up the lot rent, they're not the villain. Okay, they're not the person wearing the black hat, riding the black horse into town. Okay, they're not at all. The person who's the villain is the person who sold the park. And the reason why they're the villain is because they did not keep up with the Joneses when it comes to keeping up with lot rent, so they continue to charge the same of what market is. And a lot of times why people don't understand that is because the person who has the very low price lot rent is probably the original owner of the park, or the grandson or granddaughter. Okay. And they were such good friends with everybody in the park. They didn't want to raise the park lot rent, because I can't raise Denny's lot rent. He's my friend. He was in my wedding. I'm not going to raise the lot rent. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, you are, just to be totally direct, if you're running a business, you have to run a business. And running a mobile home park is a business. Okay. So when you don't raise the lot rent to keep up with the market, what you're doing, and I'm sorry to sound gruff here, is you're screwing over your residents. And you may not understand that, or not you, but the people may not understand that, because they're like, oh no, they're friends of mine if they don't raise the lot rent. No, they're not, because they're actually setting up to screw you over big time, because eventually they're going to sell. Or grandpappy, your friend who started the park, he's going to pass away, and the grandson's not going to want anything to do with it. He's going to put it up for sale, or work with a mobile home park broker to try and get the park sold. Well, mobile home park buyers are never going to buy a park if they're the highest lot rent in the area. They're going to buy the lower lot rents and raise it up to market, because the owner of the park should have been increasing the lot rent somewhere between 3 to 5% every year to accommodate for higher landscaping, higher pool chemicals, higher fence companies, or whatever, right? Because they didn't do it, then that's when you see these mobile home park companies come in and buy a park, and then in 90 days jack the lot rent up, and everybody says, oh my God, these people are terrible. I get where it is, because a lot of times that's an emotional response. So when people get upset, then immediately they get emotional. Like, I get it. I'm that way too. It's human psychology. But at the same time, if we take a step back and we just look at it, we say, well, you bought in the park that's $300. Every other park is $700. What did you think was going to happen? And we put those glasses on, and then you can kind of start to see that the parks that are super, super low in price, they're the ones that may be super cheap for now, but it's a disaster on the horizon. So I always tell people, if you're looking to be in a park, and you've got to look at the average lot rent, and don't immediately flock to the one that has the cheapest lot rent. Find the one that has the cheapest lot rent and say, why is it so cheap? And then decide if you want to live there, because you're going to set yourself up for one of those situations like in Tennessee. And I see people lose their homes. I see people wind up, foregoing their title. They go to the park office and just hand the title. They lose everything. Because what they do is they run their budget so tight, they can afford $400, and that's all they can afford, which is fine. I get it. I live in the real world too, but they can afford $400 and that's it. And then the new owner comes in and they increase the lot rent from 400 to 600 or 400 to 800 or whatever it is, and they lose everything. Well, the media takes it as, oh, these evil mobile home park owners. When the media doesn't sit there and say, well, what did you think was going to happen if everybody else was 800 and you were 400? Did you think logically it was just going to be 400 for the rest of the time, when the cost of gas, the cost of work boots, the cost of everything else is going up? So I feel for those people, I really do. But at the same time, when you're looking at a park, when you're looking at buying a park, you now have the knowledge. So you should use that knowledge to go into the market and buy the home with the expectation that, hey, I don't want this nasty thing to happen. If it does, I'm ready. Always be prepared for those types of situations. Okay, let me jump back in the chat. Hey, Brandy, moving from Oregon. Is it Oregon or Oregon? To St. Pete. Awesome. Give us a holler when you're ready to come down. We'll be happy to help in any way we can. Yeah, lot rent went from $350 to $600 or $350 to $599. What would be interesting is to find out what the average lot rent was in that area, just period. Was it $599? Do we help with moving? Are you talking about moving a house? Brandy, we are not licensed mobile home transporters. The easiest way to find that out is just Google mobile home transports, and they will be able to, you'll be able to find somebody. The big thing though, Brandy, is make sure you get somebody who's licensed, bonded, and insured. There's no shortage of Joe, Billy, Bob, and a six-pack who are going to move your home, and it's going to be a disaster. So make sure that you have somebody who's licensed, bonded, and insured to move your home. It's not going to be the cheapest thing, but I promise you, you will sleep much better at night. What does a $15,000 mobile home come out to monthly with a credit score? I'm not sure, Brandy. We don't do financing. Hey, Don, mobile homes are on wheels and manufactured homes. Yeah, so here's basically the deal. When you're talking about terminology, we are called the mobile home dealer. Okay, so this is a perfect example. We are called a mobile home dealer because if you look at it, most people call mobile homes mobile homes. Very few people call them trailers anymore, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't call them manufactured homes. Okay, everybody kind of calls them mobile homes. That's why we're called the mobile home dealer. Okay, now when you look at it, in 1976, that's when HUD came out. Okay, which is the Housing of Urban Development, the government entity. Okay, in 1976, what they said is every mobile home has to be built to a certain code. Okay, so anything technically built after 1976 is technically a manufactured home. Anything 1976 and before is a mobile home. So that's the difference. Manufactured home is technically 76 and newer, 76 and older is mobile. But they're all going to have axles and tires under them. Awesome, Brittany. Happy that you're a part of the community. Darren, Kokomo, Indiana. All right. Don, what's the average credit score for a mobile home application? for a mortgage, you're going to have to call the mortgage companies. Triad, 21st Mortgage, Vanderbilt are going to be three good ones to use with. I've seen credit scores in the 600s. I've seen them in the 500s and them get loans, but don't take my word for it. Make sure you get the information from the manufactured home lenders. I can tell you this much though, they're usually pretty generous on credit. Don, let's see. Oh, Brandy, off of Ganey Boulevard, drove by Roberts. Cool. Yeah. We have a team member named Bob. He works in Roberts all the time. He's sold quite a few homes and has done a great job in Roberts. Don, what is park approval? Park approval is a process that every owner or every would-be owner of a mobile home in a park with lot rent has to go through. Okay. We've talked about that quite a bit in previous lives. Just to give you the skeleton rendition of this, they're going to check three things. It's going to be your income, your criminal background, and your credit score. And everybody has to be park approved by the park office before being able to close on a home. Yeah, and Don, you're right. It's kind of like a rental application. Yeah, very similar. Very similar. That's an easy way of putting it. Genuine Joy. Yeah, we're happy that you're here. Thanks so much for coming in. Brandy, do we do anything with rentals in parks? No. When the mobile home dealer started, we did fix and flips, and we did selling on payments, and we did rentals. We don't do any of that anymore. Yeah, artsy lady, you're right. Yep, always be very, very careful. Don't immediately go, not you, but people in general, don't immediately go to the lowest lot rent area and say, ha, I found a gold mine. I am the smartest mobile home buyer ever. Please, folks, don't be that. Don't be that guy. Don't be that lady. Okay. You got the knowledge. You got to use it. Don, it's so overpriced. And if you have 400 homes in a park and everyone pays $200 a month, that's going in someone's pocket. Yeah. I mean, before I started out as a mobile home broker, I was actually brokering mobile home parks. And I was in the process of buying two parks, one in Columbia, Missouri, and one in a town called Overland Park, Kansas. Okay. So I learned everything about mobile home parks before I ever stepped foot in a mobile home. So I understand mobile home parks, and I kind of view mobile home parks a little bit differently than a lot of folks, just because I learned it from the mobile home park buying and selling and brokering of parks before getting into actual mobile homes. Now that I'm knee deep in mobile homes, I see it from both angles, which I feel like I have a unique approach to this entire industry, because I know the park business just as well, if not better than most folks. And I know the house business just as well, if not as well than most folks. So I understand the business of the whole deal. The key is you have to understand that when you're looking at it, it's not just, what is the park owner making? You also have to look at what liability they have. What are they doing that the owner of the home is not doing? If the pool goes out and they all of a sudden have to, put 30 grand into a pool, and they do it lickety split in 1 week because it's in the middle of July, they're paying the 30 grand. The owner of the house who's paying lot rent's not. Okay. They're paying the insurance when somebody slips and falls and unfortunately gets hurt at the dog park. They're the ones getting sued, and they're paying out. The resident of the house is not. Okay. If you're up in the northern states, they're the one paying for the snow. They're the one refilling the chuck holes. The resident of the park is not. So it's not, they're making so much money, which I get where most people go with that, but it's also take a step back and say, what are they actually paying for? Because at this event here with in Louisville that I'm at this week, there's a lot of people who own mobile home parks who are literally eating rice and beans because they're barely able to pay their bills. So, it goes both ways. It goes both ways. The flip side is there are people at this event here who are doing very well for themselves because they own a lot of parks. So again, it goes both ways. Just always understand that just because somebody is paying money, the person who is receiving the money is not always making out like a bandit. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's being paid for. No, Brandy, we do not we do not move. We're not junk movers. No. Brandy, we do our live streams every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We run it for right about an hour and help answer as many questions as we can. We have a lot of fun talking mobiles. Yes, Benella. I'm sorry, I don't have my contacts in. Do you work with listings in Fort Myers? Yes. When the mobile home dealer started, we sold a ton of homes in what was it, Buccaneer Estates and Jamaica Bay and a couple other parks down there in Fort Myers. We've done a lot of work in Fort Myers. Hey, what's up, Ken from Texas? Thanks so much for dropping in here. I don't know I've seen you in here, so welcome, friend. You're asking, is it easier to get park approval if you pay cash for one of the homes? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, Ken. Whether you pay cash, you do owner financing, or you get traditional financing through a mobile home lender. Everybody's still going to have to go through the same park approval process. Just because you pay cash or just because you finance, you don't get to skip the line per se. So it's kind of the same deal. Everybody has to go through it. Can you apply at park before purchasing? Yeah, it's kind of the chicken or the egg, right? Which one came first? What I always work with our team members at the mobile home dealer is first get a contract, make an offer on the home, get an accepted offer, negotiate the price. Okay. Once you have that, then move forward with a park approval, because some parks won't approve anybody at the park office unless you say, yes, I have a contract for 123 J Street. Some park managers will not even begin the park approval process until you can prove to them that you have a deal in contract. So I always say, get the contract, give them the earnest money, and then move forward with getting park approval. Do you buy mobile homes in Missouri? No, we do not. We're not licensed in Missouri. Right now, we're only licensed in Florida, but we're working on other states as we speak, more southeastern states. But right now, we're only in Florida. Brady, we've been in the business. We started, we got incorporated at the end of 20. We started full force in 21. Yes, RT lady. Thank you so much for the plug. If you could, if you haven't yet done so, smash that thumbs up button, guys. We'd really, really appreciate it. The thumbs up button helps out the YouTube algorithm, helps get the live stream out to more people. And if you haven't yet done so, one last shameless plug. If you're a fan of these live streams, the biggest way you can show us support is if you go, because you're already on the Mobile Home Dealer YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we're actively pursuing getting our channel bigger, our community bigger. I just feel like there is no manufactured home channel in all of YouTube that is doing what we're trying to do: build education, build value, sell homes, yes, but really just build a lot of value. There is so much at this home show this week. I continue to see it. Literally drives me up a wall. There's so much just bad information in the industry, and I hear people talk, and it's like, that's not how it goes. Like that's not true. Like, I hear it all the time. So my passion and really my drive is to educate the marketplace as best as possible. So we're going to be the leader in the educational space moving forward. We've got a whole educational platform that we've been working on now since November. It was supposed to launch in January due to backlogs with this and backlogs with inventory. We haven't gotten it up yet, but I'm pushing to get our entire educational component ready here. Fingers crossed in February. So I'll let you guys know before we get started. You bet, Brandy. Hope you found value in this. Your daughter lives in Orlando. Yeah, we have a unit right now in Kissimmee. It's right outside of Disney. The mobile home dealer does. Take a look on our website, sellmobilehome.com. You'll see it pop up. That's a really nice two bed, two bath, indoor laundry home. Very low lot rent. It's a cute little house. My favorite mobile home builder. Ooh, good question. I have. I don't know. I'll give you a couple. I'm really good friends with the owner and the head marketing person for a company called Legacy. They flew me down to Dallas in October to shoot their fall show. I was just I had lunch with them this afternoon. I'm a huge fan of Legacy Homes. They offer park models, single wides and double wides. I think for a park model home, I don't know that anybody can compete with Legacy. I think Legacy Homes does a phenomenal job on their park models. And I'm not saying that just because I'm friends with them. So I would say they're very good. A company that is also fantastic to work with, and a lot of people don't know about them. It's a company called Adventure Homes. They're based in Southern Indiana. Adventure Homes is they have a lot of really cool floor plans. Cavco is really good. Cavco is going to be a higher end product. They have some more entry level products, but if you want kind of like your full bore, like custom home feel, Cavco, they're not the cheapest. They are one of the more expensive. Cavco is really nice. I've got a lot of good friends at Champion Homes, do a really good job. Clayton is okay. Clayton's going to be the biggest one. Clayton has a lot of nice homes. The thing about Clayton is that they have they're kind of the Walmart, if you will, and I mean this with respect. They're kind of the Walmart of the manufactured home space. Kind of what do you want? They got with Clayton. If you want a plain Jane stripped down $40,000 single wide, two bed, one bath, brand new house, they got it. If you want to spend $200,000 on a triple wide, they got it. So that's kind of Clayton. A lot of people throw shade on Clayton, and I don't see why, because they'll say that their warranties are crappy. I don't know. I guess it's debatable, but I think Clayton does do a really good job, and they're so big that, again, they're kind of like the Walmart. But if you're looking for a park model, I think you can't beat Legacy. If you want a really nice home from a smaller builder, I would check out Adventure. If you want a bigger home, then I'd look at Champion. They're double wides. They had at the show. They had 7 of them that I filmed this morning. They're all slick. And if you want to go top of the line, I would go to like Cavco. So I think all of those are going to be good. Hey, Don, just found our channel a week ago. I appreciate you coming on it. Yeah, you bet we care. Hope that helped you out. Brandy, how hard is it to, and we'll wrap up after this one. Brandy, how hard is it to get a brand new home in a park? It's not hard. It's not. Here's the deal, though. This will save you a ton of money and a ton of frustration. Identify the park. This is like I appreciate you asking this, Brandy. Identify the area that you want to be in. Okay. Orlando, Florida, Topeka, Kansas, wherever it is, right? Identify the city. Number 2, identify the park that you really want to be in. Okay. Maybe 2 or 3 parks. Then call those parks and say, hey, park owner, my name is Brandy. I want to live in your park. Do you have any, I want to bring a home in. Do you have any spaces available? 99.9% of the time, they're going to say yes. Here is the kicker. Ask them what size home will be allowed to be put in the park. I can't tell you the amount of people that I know, probably more than 20 people. They've gone and they've put a contract on a brand new house, and then they've called the park. The park's like, hey, sorry, we can only fit single wides. Or, hey, sorry, the biggest space we can fit for single wide is like a 48 footer. And they have a contract on a 60 footer. So they kind of put the cart before the horse. So if you want to put a house in a park, can you do that? Yes. Is it easy? Yeah. Our park owner is going to be thrilled that you're bringing a home into their park. They're going to be absolutely thrilled. They're going to get you the best Christmas cookies you can possibly imagine. I'm being goofy, but you get my point. However, don't go buy the house and put it in the park. Please don't do that. Find the park, find what size of home they'll allow, and then go from there. Because if you go to like South Florida, for instance, okay, Southwest Florida on the Gulf, which is where the mobile home dealer is at, a lot of the parks here have been built in the 60s, some of them in the 50s, but a lot of them in the 60s and like the mid 70s. Okay. They have smaller streets, they have tighter turns, they have smaller yards. It's not because they're trying to, stuff people in like sardines. No, it's just that was how the park was built back when they built the park. Right? Makes sense, right? The problem though with that is that they can only fit in a lot of times very, very small homes because of the turning radius that the truck needs to have to deliver the home. Okay, the big trucks and the the semis and flatbeds and stuff, they just can't physically fit down a lot of these streets. So that's why a lot of times you'll always have older homes in those parks because they literally can't bring a house in. So if you want to be in a particular area, make sure you identify the city, then identify a couple of parks, then call the park or stop by the park and say, hey, this is what I want to do. What sizes can I fit in? Because if you go the opposite way and you buy the house and then you try to jam the house in the park, it's kind of like buying furniture before you buy the house, right? And then you're trying to find the living room for a house to fit your couch. Well, that's not really how it works. The smarter play is to find the house and then like the house and then find the couch to fit the house. That makes sense? Try that, and I guarantee you it'll help you out. My life, last one here. Am I able to purchase a home in a community and use it as a vacation rental until I'm old enough to retire there permanently? Ooh, good question. It's going to be up to the park. It's going to be up to the park. If the park is a 55 and older park, generally speaking, it's got to be hardcore 55 period, right? You can get around that is if you find a park that's like 55, for instance, and it's what's called an investor friendly park, meaning that like they allow rentals. Then a lot of times those the park owners and the park managers are much more lenient, and they'll be like, yeah, sure, that's fine, but you can't be here, type of thing. So can that be done? Sure. Is it easy? No. You're going to have to, hop on the phone, just like Brandy. You're going to have to hop on the phone. You're going to have to call around. You're going to have to find out the parks that are what are called investor friendly, and then they will be able to help you out with that. But if you go with one that's like a 55 and older park with no rentals and they don't allow investors and they're hardcore, like, no, dude, this is it. That's not going to work. You're going to get frustrated very, very quickly. Can it be done? Yes, but you're going to have to do some legwork. Brandy, do we have a walk-in office? Yeah, we do. It's in Bradenton, Florida. Does anybody ever come to the office? No, we do all of our closings for the mobile home dealer at the house. If we do a closing at the house, so we never do closings at our office. If you haven't seen another live stream, like I said, I'm in a hotel because I'm at the Louisville Home Show this week speaking, but I always shoot our live streams from our physical office. So when you see the big banner in the background and, much better lighting than I have in this hotel room, then yeah, that we do have an office there in downtown Bradenton. You bet, my life. Hope that helped you out. All right, guys. One last shameless plug. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on this live stream. We're gonna call it here tonight. We've been going just a hair over an hour, but we had a lot of great questions, and I was happy to stay on a little bit longer. If you haven't yet done so and we want us to answer a particular question, make sure you pop back on here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We do these live streams. I'm thrilled to see it get bigger with some new names in here. That's fantastic. We have a couple of very exciting homes coming up here over the next couple of days. Our next full-length video is going to be dropping on Saturday at 2 p.m. It's an absolute gem of a house. It's a cool split floor plan. 2 bed, 2 bath, bed and a bath on either side. It's going to be our new style of videos. So you're going to have a little bit more humor, a little bit more entertainment. My goal with our long form videos, after we've now done over 1,000 of them, which is kind of hard to say, that we've physically done over 1,000 long form videos now, we're going in a direction much more of entertainment than just this is a mobile home. There's only so many times, believe me, after you've done 1,000 of them, that you can get excited and really show excitement to show the same, bathroom and carport. Okay, so we're going in a much more of a educational direction with the channel and entertainment with the channel. So we're having a lot of fun with it. We brought on a new video editor. His name's Chris. He's fantastic. And he's barely scratching the surface with all of his talent with the last couple of videos. So we've got that coming up. I filmed 14 homes here at the home show as I've been here the last few days. So we're going to start dropping those in probably on Saturday afternoon in the next couple of weeks. We'll start doing our new homes, kind of like what we were doing in the fall, our new home tours probably on Saturdays. That usually works out for the subscribers and the community members. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be doing a home tour or a home show, wrap up video as well for people, because this is what's called an industry only show, which is a fancy way of saying that the person who just wants to come and check it out, they won't let you. You have to have this lanyard thing or whatever, and you have to be licensed in the industry. So I didn't think that was really cool. So what I want to do is I'm doing a kind of a show review for the people who can't be here because they don't have the lanyard. I think that's kind of goofy. So I'll be doing that here coming up here pretty soon as well, to give you an idea of exactly what's going on at the home show. And then we have, we're putting a much bigger focus on our YouTube shorts as well. You may have noticed that we're doing one short every day. We're going to be pushing that here in the next month or so to 2 shorts per day, and then still the long form videos. So putting out as much content as we possibly can so everybody has an idea of all the homes that we have available here at the mobile home dealer. So a lot of very, very exciting things. Again, fingers crossed. I'm getting a lot of emails about the educational component, which I'm super excited about. I wish it was out. We were trying to do this by Christmas time. It's been delayed about a month or so, but I promise you, we're getting closer and closer to getting this entire project launched. I'm so excited about that because we're going to be the only group in the entire manufactured home space offering a full educational component. So we are very, very excited about all that stuff going on. So that's what's going on here behind the scenes. I'll be back in the studio next week. I appreciate everybody for being patient with my kind of goofy, jerry-rigged lighting setup here with a picture of a horse right there. If you haven't noticed, it's a picture of a horse's nose. But they have it here in the hotel in downtown Louisville. So thank you so much, folks. Stay warm if you have snow like I have in Kentucky, and I look forward to being back in the sunshine later on tomorrow afternoon. Thanks again for being a part of this live stream and being a part of the mobile home dealer community. I look forward to this every week, and I hope you found some enjoyment and some education as well as some entertainment here tonight. As always, folks, thank you so much for being here. My name is Mark. You've been with the mobile home dealer, and we'll see y'all on the next one.